The first consideration is the corporate philosophy. It seems to be the operating system to make it easy to run an office. To use design and technology to provide 100% transparent services. To be an all-inclusive firm committed to create positive touchpoints with customers, investing in employees to deliver high-value services. And so to sum it all up, how do they gain a competitive advantage is to position themselves to be the company that invests in design, technology, and training to deliver quality customer experience. So what resources give Managed by Q a competitive advantage? The resources should tie in with the earlier corporate philosophy whereby they talk about investing in technology and investing in human capital. So from the case study, I see that first the employees that are trained more than industry standard. The Q iPad technology and the Q app technology give the company the competitive advantage. Now, how might environmental factors affect this profit advantage? I did a PEST analysis. In terms of political, understand that Q's arrival or Homejoy recently went to trouble with the law when its cleaners claimed that they were being misclassified as independent contractors. And then from the economic perspective, this is a highly fragmented janitorial service industry. Office cleaning services account for 32% of that revenue, and the top 3 companies took 10% of that revenue. And in terms of social factors, subcontractors were not all equally trained and are properly paid. Varied too much in terms of performance, and the turnover was generally very high. Technology-wise, there wasn't any transparency or tools to track task completion, and communication between clients and cleaners were pretty weak. Janitorial service industry was still operating in the analog world, voicemails and fax documents. And to improve service, recently one of the key players, ABM industry, introduced a digital quality assurance program that gave customers access to clean schedules and work orders statuses. The PEST analysis shows that to stay profitable and competitive, Q should be cautious when it comes to hiring independent contractors. To plan a strategy to overrun smaller or similar sized rivals in a highly fragmented industry dominated by 3 players. Ensure staff are well trained and fairly paid, and continue to invest in design and technology to create more high-touch customer experience. What threats exist to manage by Q's profits? Here we will take a look at all these 5 forces analysis to answer that consideration. In this analysis, I identified the new market entrants in the form of a copycat or clones from Berlin, Chicago, and there's one incubating in San Francisco. In terms of suppliers, Q is dependent on both cleaning and office supplies vendors as well as vendors to help with the jobs. For example, installing a new security system that is outside the Q's typical scope of maintenance. And then for Q's competitors, we saw 3 key players: ABM Industries, Jennings International, Service Master Clean, who dominated the whole janitorial service industry. For Q's customers, mainly office managers or clients with 6,000 to 20,000 square feet of space in Class B and C commercial buildings. In terms of the substitute products, Q will have independent contractors. So going back to the consideration, and here's my response. For industry competitors, these 3 key players, as I mentioned earlier, may continue to dominate, expand their market share, and drive other players, including Q, out of the whole game. The new market entrants, the copycats, will naturally be competing with Q for the same piece of the market share. For suppliers, Q will continue to depend on these suppliers, vendors to do the jobs that's beyond the usual scope maintenance. And likewise, for the independent contractors, some companies may still hire them. In terms of customers, lacking diversity in market type, Q is competing with other players for spaces in Class B and C commercial buildings. How can Managed by Q continue to grow in established markets given the competition that may not use the same high-cost labor model? Valuable. Now, cleaners who are carefully recruited and trained the Q way to deliver services that attracted very positive Yelp reviews. Rare. Maintenance companies tend to invest little in their employees, but Q cleaners were trained beyond industry standard. And the Q used design technology to aggregate the demand for all the goods, services, and technology required to run an office, whereas other companies are still operating in the analog world. Costly to imitate? Q app and Q iPad dashboard. Exploitable by the organization, founders' expertise in design and technology. Cleaning SOPs to train cleaners the Q way. Q knowledge entry and one-on-one interviews toolkit. Q must continue to invest in technology to develop more high-touch customer experiences and to continue to upskill current employees to make them more deployable for other markets such as educational facilities, retail complexes, and residences. So which growth strategy or strategies should managed by Q pursue, and what evidence supports this decision? So consider the following. So number one, what kinds of partnerships, alliances, mergers, or integration strategies might managed by Q consider? So based on that, my recommendation is to have a backward integration. That means to say to acquire a toilet tissue manufacturer. And from the data, we can see that toilet tissue sales can be a very lucrative market. And for Q, can also help to refill customers' toilets during cleaning with Q brand of toilet tissues. And you can consider selling toilet tissues via Q iPad or Q app to individuals. It could be the employees of the companies that hired Q for cleaning, or it could be just general public customers. So you could also have like free home delivery options available with minimum purchase. The second one, what new markets might it enter? How much it increase revenue from its current customers, and or how it could increase market share in its current market? Now, my recommendation is to go into new markets. To say look into educational facilities, retail complexes, or residences. So this to increase customer base. And Q have to review existing training processes to upskill staff to be deployed at these markets. And may also need to train some staff to handle jobs outside the scope of maintenance, such as DIY work, as added services that are also relevant to the new markets. Now, what are some of the reasonable alternatives to my recommended strategy, and why is my strategy likely to perform better? Now, I think that generally I have some alternatives, but having said that, I feel that the recommended strategies I proposed earlier are more aligned with the company philosophy of investing on design, technology, and the human capital to develop high quality customer experience. So nevertheless, one alternative I have is to go to the other new markets, government, industrial plants, healthcare facilities, which are relatively smaller markets as compared with educational, retail complexes, and residences market. And for these smaller markets may require special security clearance in terms of government, in industrial plants, and specialized cleaning knowledge to clean healthcare facilities to get work done. So overall, they might have more effort and perhaps for a startup like Q to get into smaller markets in regards to acquiring the special access or specialized cleaning knowledge to get work done. Another alternative is to form a non-equity alliances with top 3 competitors, such as the ABM industry, which is a focus on commercial, residential, and janitorial services, and have over 350 offices in the US and other international locations. Another partner could be Jenny King International, commercial cleaning, over 7,500 franchises. Service Master Clean, over 8,000 company-owned locations and franchise and license agreements. The approach is that to get into a non-equity alliance with these strong players, we have access to their clients, the network, the market knowledge, and a slice of their market share. However, the downside is that there could be potential conflicts with the management or the staff due to differences in company philosophies. So, what strategy, objectives, and initiatives would best support this strategy? How should the company track progress towards achieving them? So in this case, we'll be looking at my strategy map objectives prepared for this consideration. Managed by Q's strategy map objectives. In here, I would recommend Q to look into creating a new product or to expand to new markets. So how do we go about doing that? If we were to discuss this from organization capacity onwards to financial, for creating new product, first is to look to manufacturing toilet tissue, and then to add the new product offering in the Q's suite of products, and to create more savings and convenience for the customers, and then eventually leads to more revenue and customers for Q. For expanding to new markets, first looking at enhancing the staff capability and to allow Q to add new services and to create a more new experience for the customer, and also eventually lead to more revenue and more customers for Q. So what are the respective KPIs? Is look at the revenue, the customer satisfaction, the response rate for DIY work requests, upskill staff to be deployable to the new markets, and to create own toilet tissue product. And the targets looking at, in terms of revenue, 30% increase by end of 2021. For customer satisfaction, 30% scoring 8 to 10 rate out of 10 by 2021. The response rate, looking at 20% reduction in time needed to fulfill a DIY request, and 80% staff trained to clean for new markets, 20% for DIY work by end of this 2021, and launch own toilet tissue product. So what are the initiatives to support all those different KPIs and targets? In terms of the first one is to look at a marketing campaign to launch new products and services, to redesign customer survey to include new offerings so as to better track the latest customer satisfaction score, to design SOPs for DIY work, and to review the staff training processes and procedures so that the staff will be trained to clean for new markets and as well to do DIY work. And then to look at acquiring a toilet tissue manufacturer. So we have seen the strategy map our objectives for Q. And what are the possible disadvantages of this recommendation and how should they be managed? Vertical integration decreases Q's flexibility and therefore needs commitment from the company management structures, and Q will hire more staff to run this new business. Q can't deploy staff to the customer's site during upskilling, and therefore Q has to be very careful and to revise clean schedule to allow staff development without affecting the schedule of work to the customers.